NBC5I. I guess because there's a bunch of NBC5s.
It's like 10
That
of them.
one. Yeah.
Now, we did this yesterday. Credit. What's credit? You buy stuff. No, you get stuff.
But someone pays for it, right?
Somebody else pays for it. You get stuff. It could be money. It could be a loan for money. Somebody else pays for it. And why do they pay for it?
Interest.
Because they get extra. They get interest. It's an investment. Somebody pays, and then you pay them back. Plus interest. Now there used to be, y'all heard of Rooms to Go,
Yes.
right? When they first started 20 years ago, they had no interest for 3 years.
On furniture?
Yes. So you could buy the furniture and have no interest for 3 years. And you had no payments for 3 years. But once that third year ended, they went back and added all the interest in. So what were they trying to get you to do?
Pay more.
But you're right. They sold you on the fact, hey, there's no interest for 3 years and there's no payments. So you're like, oh, I don't even have to pay. And then once you start paying, they go back and add all the interest in. But if you paid it off within that 3 years, you had no interest. And what did your brain do to you?
Just not pay it.
Hey, you don't have to pay it. You can use that money for something else. You don't have to pay it. There's no interest. Yeah, but there's interest later. Oh, no, it's just no payment. No payment. You just pay payment. So you talk yourself in. But if you did it smart, you could have no interest. So, anyway. All right. Finance charge. What does finance mean?
Money.
Money. The finance charge is the interest that's added. That's the finance charge. When we did, I showed you a little credit card deal yesterday. Did I show you how it adds interest daily?
Yes.
Okay. Every month when you get the bill, it will say finance charge. That's the interest that was added that month. Okay? Everybody down with that? Jump down to number 11 and we'll add this in there with it. Y'all know what an installment is? Payments. Okay, your installment is your payment. So installment debt is like cars and houses. When you buy a car, you get a 60-month loan, maybe a 72-month loan, possibly an 84-month loan. That's what I think a lot of these people that are driving these $100,000 Tahoes, they make their $800 a month payment for 84 months. No, thank you. That's 7 years, 6 years, 5 years. When I was a kid, it was either a 36-month, maybe a 60-month. That was the height. Now you got 80. No, I will never do that. If you have to go 84 months, you don't need that, do you? Well, it's cool, but that's not cool at all. That's horrifically uncool. So you have a number of payments, and you know how much with installment debt put you know. It's set monthly payments for a set amount of time. When I say set monthly payments, what does that mean?
Can't go up.
Here's how much the payment's going to be. So you know how much that payment is going to be. With credit card debt, do you know what that monthly payment's going to be from month to month? You don't know. Do you know how long it's going to take you to pay it off with the credit card?
No.
No. here you know. You know the total interest that you're paying. Because it's added in the first day. So you're buying a $50,000 truck, the interest is this, they add that into the loan, and that's what your interest doesn't get added to. It doesn't build over time. And you know the total amount you're gonna end up paying. With credit cards, do you know any of this?
No.
Okay, so
Well.
this is livable debt. This doesn't drive you crazy. It's not fun, but at least every payment you make, you're getting closer. And you can see your progress. And you're not falling down a cliff, okay? So the finance charge on a car or a home is added in one time. It's a one-time deal. Your finance charge on a credit card is added every month, if you have a balance on it.
Question.
Now you can, the only way this would change, the total monthly payments and total interest, is sometimes you can contact them and say, we need to skip a month. Because something happened. And they'll say, okay, we'll skip a month, but that might add an extra payment or add some interest in there, possibly. But that's, installment debt is livable, because you know. Does that make sense? Credit cards, you don't know. That's what each of them. When you get a Best Buy card or a store card, you might think it's installment, but it's not. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. So make sure before you buy something with a company card, you know what it is, because you can get trapped in it. All right, the APR, that is the annual percentage rate. Annual percentage rate. And I put daily rate there. What's the daily rate? What does that mean?
It's like for credit cards every day.
They divide this, whatever the rate is, they'll divide it by 365. Credit cards will add their own interest. Matter of fact, get out your phone and just look up Visa application. Okay, no, let's do MasterCard because Visa might be getting into it.
Application.
Oh, I can't do it. Can y'all do it?
Yes.
I have it on internet. It's still working.
0% APR.
Okay. Is it an introductory?
I don't think it's all the.
A lot of times, credit cards will offer you an introductory 0% interest for 10 months, 12 months,
No interest.
hoping you'll put a bunch of stuff on the card, and then once it reaches that date, if you have a balance, it'll go back and add all the interest in. There was a time where people would, like if they had a high credit card debt, they'd get a 0% interest and put that balance, transfer it to this card. And then they wouldn't have it paid off. And then it would go back and add all the interest, and they weren't any better. Does it say anything about on the application what their interest rate is? If it's not 0?
That's the low.
Usually it's 13 to maybe 12 to 14 usually.
Regular APR, 19% to 30% variable.
Okay, so the annual the prime rate is a prime rate plus.
No, it just says regular APR.
Okay, but 19.
This is for the silver card.
Okay,
This is
Bronze card
Platinum.
is the same.
platinum. Okay, God's
platinum for 30%.
Oh yeah, platinum also.
So don't get a balance on that card. 30%. It's a lot. That's a lot. Okay,
About 19 to 30.
that's not, see, that doesn't sound good, does it?
No.
That's not good. That is not good. All right, a cosigner. A lot of y'all probably have experienced this. What's a cosigner?
Someone that has good credit, that signs their credit on something because you don't have them.
Right now, y'all's credit is bad. Because if your credit was good and companies, you gave your credit card or loaned you money, they could, that wouldn't be good. If you don't pay it back, it's not good. So they assume you can't pay it back or won't pay it back. So you gotta build your credit. One way to do that is to buy something and get a cosigner. Usually a car or a truck, say a vehicle. Okay, we did this with both kids. We co-signed on a car for them. Their name was on it, our name was on it. The co-signer, you use the co-signer's credit. Okay, you use their credit. And then your name is on it. And your credit builds as you make that payment. So you benefit from this person's credit and you get to build yours. And when you get the thing paid off, now your credit score has gone up because you've proven you can lift weights. The cosigner, the only thing that happened to them is ruin their credit because you mess up. They're basically saying, we will handle this payment if it doesn't get paid. So the cosigner has everything to lose, the other person has everything to gain. And that is a good way to build your own credit, because you have to remember the weightlifting thing. You gotta prove you can lift weights before your credit score, before they'll think you can lift weights. When I was a kid, they used to say, get a gas card and just use the gas card when you buy gas. Of course, back then, gas was cheaper, and you'd go to the gas station, there's some old guy with grease all over him that sold Lance peanuts and Cokes out of a Coke machine. So all you bought was gas. What would be dangerous about having a gas card today?
You charge and charge and charge.
What is at gas stations now?
Everything.
Everything.
Oh, okay. Everything.
And so you can charge whatever. Beep, you go to timeout, get a little bit of gas, and then go in and get a pizza and a drink and this and that and
About $50.
and a hat and a knife, cool knife. So then we did that, and you had a car wash with it. We put money on there fast. I was like, God, this is stupid. So just be careful with that. That's a cosigner. It can build your credit. Does it make sense when I say build your credit?
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about? You have to use credit to get a good credit score.
Yes.
So that's the bad thing. And you have to have a good credit score for later on in life. A lot of times your insurance rates are tied to your credit score, because that is a reflection of who you are.
They can drop you too if you're
Yes.
credit score gets too
Yeah.
bad.
Some job applications, some job interviews will look at your credit score, because that tells them a little bit about who you are and how you live your life. So, and someday you want to buy a house,
Yes.
and that credit score means a lot of stuff. All right. Credit card, the minimum payment. What's the minimum payment?
Well,
How much you
it
pay?
depends how much you use.
It's what you have to pay that month. That's the minimum amount you gotta pay. You have to pay that amount. And how long will it take you to pay that credit card off if you just pay the minimum payment? 8 years. We're not doing it, sorry, we're not doing it. Because all you're paying is basically the interest. Remember I showed you that little deal? If you pay the minimum, that $500 TV,
Oh, and then just.
if you pay the 30, now you got $470 every day, they add interest. I want you to put this down somewhere. With credit card debt, you end up paying interest on interest. You don't even pay interest on the debt necessarily, you're paying interest on the interest, because every day they're adding interest.
So if you have a credit card and you don't spend anything for a month, you still have to pay on it?
if there's nothing on there. If there's no balance on it, if it's zero, you don't owe anything. If you pay it off every month, you never owe interest. But once you keep a balance on there, then you owe interest. All right. I talked about this once yesterday in one class. I don't remember what it was. You got a credit card and a debit card. What's the difference?
Debit, you can't go like over.
You're spending your money. It's a check. And I'll say that, I realize now y'all don't have the concept of check like I did. We didn't have debit cards, you wrote checks. Let's do. You got a credit card, which you're using other people's money. It's a loan. A credit card is a loan. Every time you use it, it's a loan. With debit, it's your checking account. It's your money.
It's your money. Get it when you need it.
Right.
So you got your checking account. You have this amount of money. It pulls out of your checking account. It's your money. Now, has anybody used debit as credit? Okay.
That's what I've
Don't-
always used. But
Yes, I've never have used debit. Don't get confused. It's not a credit card. When I first got a debit card in 2000, it came with a letter and it had the PIN number on that. And I lost the letter. I have never known a PIN number on that card since I got it. It's never had a PIN number. So I had to use credit. But when you say credit, it doesn't mean credit card. It does change how the money's taken out of the
it takes a couple days.
Yes.
It's not immediate.
but it's still not a credit card. And I did it also because you avoided any ATM fees. Y'all know what an ATM fee is? A lot of times when you first got those debit cards, stores were charging an ATM fee every time you used it. And if you used credit, it did not do that. So it's not a credit card, but you can say credit. And it's still a debit card. It's still your money coming out of your checking account. Everybody down with that? Good? No one confused nobody. Yes, I did. Thank you. We'll go to credit limit. Number 6, credit limit. A credit limit, when you get a credit card, they will tell you your credit limit is $300 or maybe $500. They'll set your credit limit. That's the most you could borrow from them.
Is it for a month or a day limit?
Okay, we'll get to that one. We'll get to that one. This is like just on this card.
Okay.
First time you get one, it's gonna be like, you can tell them, I want it to be $100. You can tell them below your credit limit what you want to set it at to protect yourself. But you can't say, oh, I want it to be $1,000. They will set the limit because they don't want to lose all their money to you. Okay? And then as you get, they'll give you letters that say, we're gonna raise your credit limit to this, we'll raise your other card, like the ones you're looking at, Platinum, and some of those cards, you have to qualify for that. That would not be your first credit card. A Venture Platinum card is not. That wouldn't be your first one. You have to earn your way to that. Now you're talking like with the debit card, there are limits to how much you can use that debit card. Even if you have $3,000 in your account, they limit it to how much you can spend at one time or in a day to keep people from stealing stuff. You can call ahead if you're gonna get something big and say, hey, I'm fixing to go do something here, and let them know. But there is restrictions on it just to protect us. One time, we bought a lot of stuff one day, and I went to buy boots, and they denied it. We had like $3,000 in the account, and they denied it just because I think we'd spent like $600 that day. But just call ahead if you're gonna make a bunch of purchases that day. They can do that. I know now they will alert you, and you probably get sick of it, did you just make a purchase at whatever? Like if you go somewhere weird and you
Yeah,
buy
my dad-
something,
My dad gets it every time he uses it.
that's good. Why are they doing that?
So,
Make sure it's you spending.
And you can say, no, that's not me, and they say, fine, we got that, it's taken care of. In the old days, when they first started doing a lot of this stuff, you would be responsible for everything the person that stole your card or stole your stuff was getting. Now they've got got whole parts of their company that works on this. So if you get your stuff stolen, it's easier to handle than it was a while back. All right, the credit report. The credit report is when they run your credit, when they check your credit, if you apply for a loan. The credit report is your credit history. It's all the loans you've had, all the payments you've made. It has the missed, it has the late, and that credit score or credit limit, credit report gives you the credit score. Your credit score doesn't go up when you pay things on time, because that's what you're supposed to do. When you pay things off, then your credit score will go up. When you take weight off the bar, the credit score will go up. Making the payment on time doesn't improve your credit. Missing a payment drops your credit. Being late, missing a payment, any of that drops it. Declaring bankruptcy ruins your credit for 10 years. That's not the answer. Sometimes you have to, depending on what's going on.
What happens when you do that?
Your credit score, I know your credit score is ruined, and you might have to pay, you go to the bankruptcy court to figure out how much you gotta pay back, but you're not getting a car or a house for 2 years. I mean,
How did Trump do all that?
now,
Right.
there are different, I don't understand, there's different levels of it. I don't understand all the levels. And he's never broke, but this company could go bankrupt. And there's all kinds of manipulating things you can do. If you're a billionaire, you could use bankruptcy to benefit possibly. And it doesn't mean you're worth zero, it means this company's worth zero. And you're separate from, it's a corporation, so you're not involved in, there's all kinds of stuff I'll never get.
billionaire stuff.
Some of y'all might know some of that stuff, I'll never know any of that stuff, I don't know. Okay, identity theft. What's identity theft? They get a hold of your information,
Yeah.
and then they can pose as you and buy stuff, get loans. So with computer stuff,
Someone wants gold chain.
which debit cards or computer stuff, they can get your info. What's some info they can get?
Whole card.
Card numbers, account numbers, your social security number, bank numbers, any of that stuff. And then they can use that to apply for loans or to just go buy stuff. It's way better now than it was 20 years. 20 years ago, it destroyed your life.
So what do you do if you lose your social security?
You need to call, probably call the Social Security government place and tell them, and then they can probably change some things. I lost my Social Security card in 1997. But I think what I did, I know what I did. I had my wallet in a bag in the bus we went to play Salina, and I had my lunch in that bag also. And I'm pretty sure the wallet was gone. I'm sure I threw it away, and it all was gone, and nothing's happened. So
Did you throw
Trash
your
dump.
money away too?
what's that?
You threw your money away then too?
I never had money.
No.
I don't even worry about that. The blonde, if we have any money, she has money. I never have money.
We've had like 3 people lose their social security at CQT.
Yeah.
How much do you think you could live off in a month? Like, how much money do you think you need to live?
Me?
For a month? Yeah.
Counting house payments and all that, or just
No,
living off
just
stuff?
like, just you.
I mean, I eat at the house, so
He's got money there.
gas, I probably get half a tank of gas. Average is about, I average maybe a tank of gas every 2 months. So I live here. I mean, look where I live. Look where I
Yeah,
live.
that's true. That's crazy.
Well, I just do this. So I mean,
Great spot.
and now little Christy spends way more on gas. She does a lot more stuff than me. I don't know.
I was thinking like,
Probably just living life,
like $100.
just regular life could be like well under 500 a month.
Wait.
But not counting house payments and car payments and all that kind of stuff. I'm pretty simple. But they get your information and then they can create accounts. They can get loans, car, home. Now what people are starting to do, and they're getting smarter, they don't buy a car with it. They go out to eat one time. Or they do buy this, little things
To see if you're gonna.
over
take
time
it.
to see what happens.
I did my dad.
And that's why the bank contacts you, hey, were you in, like, for me to be in Irving in the middle of the day is weird. So the bank would see this charge, and, hey, are you, it's in the message, Christy, did you buy something in Irving? And she'll ask me, like, yesterday, did you buy something here? And I'm like, wait a minute, I did go here, yeah, I think I did, yeah, I did, okay. Or no, and then she just
Stop.
Okay, we did installment debt,
My dad, just the boss's car.
is it still working? No way, wow. Okay. Now, what's some ways you could mess up your credit?
Miss good payments, not paid on time.
Okay,
Go and have fun in the city with it.
let's say late, missed payments. I'm gonna lump all that together into buying all kinds of stuff you don't need,
Want.
buying extra. With cards. Also, using all the credit you're allowed to. Like if you get like 3 or 4, they might let you get 3 or 4 credit cards. Do you need to get 3 or 4 credit cards? No.
Never.
Using all the credit you can. Basically loading up the bar.
I know it's big.
Okay?
Potential for everything.
Now, how can you fix your credit? This will be the, let's see. The way to fix your credit, what's the only way to get your credit score to go up?
Pay it all.
Get weight off the bar.
Mm.
Okay, pay off debts. That's what gets your credit score to go up. Now I'm gonna show you what happened, because there's gonna be 2 or 3 people at least in here, they're gonna find themselves drowning in credit card debt. You're not an idiot if you do it, you just, sometimes you get caught up. So, number 1, stop borrowing. Stop using credit. You gotta stop doing that to get it fixed. You can't keep doing it. So you gotta stop borrowing money, stop using credit cards, stop applying for it. Because every time you apply,
Not your credit time.
you're adding weight, you're trying to add weight to the bar. And if you can't lift it, it's stupid to do that. That's what the company's gonna say. Stop borrowing, stop applying. And then you gotta start paying it off. Now let's say you got 3 credit cards that you need to pay off. Let's say one of them has $500 on it, one of them has $1,200 on it, and one of them has $2,000 on it.
Is that debt or? just-
Yes, let's
okay.
say that you owe this, okay? Which one do you start with?
2,000.
500.
500, why 500, why 500?
Because it's gonna
Oh,
pay it off.
okay.
You can pay it off quicker. And a little, so let's say the minimum payment here is 30, and this one is 94, and this one is 135. Okay? Does this pay off that? Does the 30 pay that? No. So what do we have to do to this 30?
Hey, more.
We gotta pay more. So let's say somehow we stop doing some things and I can put $50 on that card. So I add $50 a month to that. And that's not fun, okay? How long would it take to pay that card off if we're adding $50 to it?
10 months.
10 months. Cause, well, that's, anything extra goes directly to the principal.
Oh, okay.
Because this is paying the interest. That will go right to here. So every month we're taking $50 off. 10 months, we're done paying this off. And your credit score goes up a little bit. This one's pretty easy, okay? Now, once you've paid that one off, you're like, and you get this accomplishment feeling, okay? You're fired up. What's your brain gonna tell you?
Go spend some.
Hey, look what you did. You deserve,
A new truck.
okay? Just gonna tell you to use that $80 to get, what do we need to do to that 80?
You need to put it to the next one.
Now we add it to this one.
Yes.
And that 80 will start chipping away here. So that's gonna be, it's almost a little more than a year. And we got this one paid off. Now, so far, how long? We've spent almost 2 years, about 2 years doing this.
Not even on the next.
It would not take 2 years to do this. This could happen instantaneously. Give or take. It's really fast getting into it. It takes a long time to get out.
No, that could take a week to do.
It could, I mean, easily. I say easily.
You can take
It doesn't take 2 years to do this, but it takes 2 years to get that. Now we've got, what's that, 80, that's 10, that's like $170, give or take. Now we've got 170. You gotta make yourself do that, and then about, what is that, about even? That's only like 9 months, 10 months, 10, 11 months, maybe 12, maybe another year. We got that one knocked off. And now we've got, what, 310, something extra? And I'm just making up numbers there. But you gotta chip away, start with the smallest, end with the biggest. And you gotta make yourself do it. But you can get out of it. And every time you pay one off, the weight goes off the bar.
Why would you ever need 3 credit cards?
You don't. But,
You have gas.
and it's not as much as they used to. How many of y'all have gotten credit card applications in the mail already?
I've been getting them like every week.
Okay, you're gonna get a bunch of them.
Already got it. I don't get it.
You get stuff. You're gonna get things in the mail. Hey, do this. Hey, do that. Hey. All right, we finish this. Won't take long. How could you use credit cards wisely? How could credit cards help you?
Like use it on stuff that you're gonna use, like use it on fuel.
Use stuff you're gonna buy anyway.
Don't use it on needs.
Like extras, yeah.
Now you said gas, and that's true.
But don't
Don't use extra trips. Don't say, hey, but don't go on extra trips.
only do it like say like to school, like only use it
Yeah.
for school gas or something.
Don't say, well, I got a card. We can go to Texarkana this week. Well, let's not do that. In the words of Caden Powell, let's just not. How about that? So do the stuff you're gonna buy anyway, and pay it off. Pay it off. You pay it off, you don't owe interest. Now I'm gonna tell you something scary here. If sometimes credit cards are good because there might be an emergency. We used a credit card once to buy a tire when we had a flat tire about 2 hours away from the house. We needed a tire. It did put extra money on the credit card, but that was a good emergency to use it on. If you're gonna use it and keep a balance on it, keep the balance below 3 digits. If you have a $90 balance on your credit card, is the interest gonna be a whole lot?
No,
Would it take too long to pay it off?
no.
No. If you start getting into triple digits, that's heading towards the edge of the cliff. So if you have a balance on the credit card, keep it in double digits. Keep it in not below 3 digits, keep it in double digits. But right here, that's the key. Buy stuff you're gonna buy anyway and pay it off. And what does that do for you?
Build your credit.
Builds your credit. Your credit score goes up. If you do that, your credit score goes up. Pretty soon you're getting a note from the credit card place saying, hey, we'll raise your credit limit to, and then you just throw it away and don't look at the little fuzzy thing on the TV in the corner. So,
Don't you have to have a big credit though? A big loan to be able to buy something big like a car?
yeah, you're not doing that on credit cards.
Yeah.
That's a
Treasurer's trip.
that's a loan installment debt. But, and TVs are getting cheaper now.
Oh yeah, $150 for 65 years.
Might not be the best, but hey, what the heck. And last, minimum payment. What are you really paying if you're paying the minimum payment?
$5, or what you owe.
The interest.
The interest, yeah.
You're just paying the interest, really.
Pretty good.